everybody, and welcome back to my channel. So if you're new here, my name is Julianne. I am a Canadian. I have been living in Germany for 3 years this spring, and I have learned a lot since being here. So in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys 5 things that I wish I knew before moving abroad that really would have made the process easier. And this is really the video that I wish I could have watched before moving abroad. And so I really hope that you guys can get something out of this, that you can find value in these tips that I'm going to be sharing with you, because personally I think these things would have helped me a lot. Alright, so we're just going to jump into it. The first tip is to prepare as much as you can before you leave, but then jump right into it, because you will never be 100% ready. So yes, you can start learning the language before you go. You can get all of your paperwork sorted before you go. You can have a game plan on where you're gonna live, where you're gonna work, what you're gonna do when you're there, how to do the logistical paperwork stuff and everything. But after you get done the necessary things that you need to get done before leaving, like certifying any documents you need certifying, actually knowing what city you're gonna live in, all the really important things, you're never gonna be totally ready. And I think when you start getting in the mindset of, oh, I just need to wait 1 more month, I need to learn German for 1 more month, and then I'll be ready. It's not gonna happen, because you're never gonna be completely ready. Even if you get to, for example, even if you get to a B2 level in German before moving to Germany, you're still not gonna feel totally ready yet. So I think it takes a little bit of courage and just a little jump to get the ball moving, to move to where you want to go, and then everything should fall into place. And even for me now, this is very relevant to my life with the Ausbildung that I'm going into this spring. It took me a long time to be even slightly comfortable at the thought of starting school in my second language. And I can tell you one thing, I am not the most confident in myself about starting school this year, but I already put it off for a long time, and so I know I'm not 100% ready, and that's okay. I'm just going to jump right into it, and we are going to try. The second tip I have for you guys is to find a support group or a person and actually accept their support. And I know this depends on your situation, and for some people it can be really difficult to find a support group or a person that you can kind of work with. For me, I was very lucky because I moved to Germany primarily because I married a German, and so I have him, I have his family, and that's amazing, and they are really able to help me so much. But at the beginning, I wanted to be this strong and independent woman, and I wanted to do more things on my own, but it really takes the weight off when somebody wants to help you and you accept their help. Especially when you're first moving to a new country, chances are there's going to be a lot of paperwork you're going to fill out. At least in Germany, there was a ton of paperwork that had to get filled out, and all these letters were coming, and they were all in German. I couldn't understand anything on those papers. So really finding somebody that you can trust to help you with those kinds of things is so beneficial, and it really relieves some of the pressure that you will have moving abroad. So how to find a support group? Well, if you have a friend that's living in that country, if you have maybe extended family in that country, if you can find a community, if you go to church, then find a church community there, because chances are there's going to be somebody there who's very friendly and who's very open to helping you. Also, maybe look online for different expat groups that do meetups or something, other people that can translate things or that speak your language. Those will all be very helpful. The third tip I have for you guys is to prioritize your mental health. So as always, like even if you're not moving abroad, even if you're still living with your parents, you should still prioritize your mental health because that's obviously so important. But I feel like when you're moving abroad and you're feeling isolated, it's like tenfold. You know, if you're having a bad day, you're having like a really bad day because everything's unfamiliar to you. Maybe you're in a country where they speak a different language. You don't have the comforts of home, and just like your surroundings are really different. That can really build up and cause a bad day to turn into a really bad day. And that's really what was happening to me the first year that I was living here. I wasn't prioritizing my health and fitness. I wasn't prioritizing like self-care or my overall mental health, and it really showed, and I was struggling a lot more than I would have struggled if I was back in Canada still. So really, that's why I also make quite a bit of content about health, fitness, especially mental health, and exercising for mental health, because I think it is a very important aspect when you are moving abroad. And for me personally, it's just so important for my sanity. So maybe you should start journaling, make sure you get outside, go for walks, and find a community. Community can really help so much, especially if you're living abroad. And if you find community, it's going to benefit your mental health. It'll benefit the language barrier because you're going to have somebody to talk to. Yeah, there's just so many benefits to having a community, and just overall really working on your mental health is top, very important. The fourth tip that I have for you guys if you are moving abroad is to have like a rough game plan or time that you're considering traveling back home to see your friends and family. I know in these times of uncertainty that can be kind of difficult, and that's why it's good to just make like a very broad idea on when you can go back so that you have something to look forward to. Because really, if you're moving abroad, you're moving away from your family, your friends, everything that's familiar to you. And when you're just going without any idea or any clue when you're going to be coming back, that can be really difficult to deal with. So for me, in my first year of Germany, like that was right at the start of COVID, and I had no idea when I was going to be able to travel back home, and it was insane. I was so miserable because there was like no end in sight. And I really talked myself down during that time because really, I didn't know when I was going to be traveling back home to see my friends and family. So that, on top of a damaged mental health, was just terrible, because in my mind I kept telling myself, what if I never see them again? And that sounds so bad, but it really was bad. So I do think it's important to have a bit of a timeline, a little bit of a plan on when you're going to be traveling back home, just so you have something to look forward to, so you can look forward to the time where you're going to be visiting your family and friends again. And the fifth and final tip that I have for you guys is to prioritize learning the language so that you can be a functioning member of society. Now, of course, this tip is pretty much just for people who are moving to a country that doesn't speak their language. So if you are moving to a country that speaks a foreign language, then like really once you get there, like as soon as you get there, really focus on learning the language. And that's so important. Don't put it off, because I know people who have done that, and long term it has not been good for them. We know this one woman, okay? She's been living in Germany for maybe 20 years or something, and she can speak German, but it's a very broken German. And this person never really took formal classes on actually learning German. And although she's been here for 20 years, like my level of German has surpassed hers quite easily. And the longer you wait, the harder it is going to be for you to actually just get started on it. And also, if you're just kind of like learning an improper version of the language, you're going to develop bad habits with that, and it's just long term it's not going to be good, because you're going to have to unlearn all those bad habits that you kind of taught yourself. It's just going to make everything more difficult. So the first part of this tip is to just start at the beginning. Just really start going to school to learn the proper language, and then get out there in society, start talking to people, start joining communities where they're talking in your second language, so that you can actually be a part of the society. And really, unless you're moving to a really big city where, you know, you can find a job in your first language, or you know, lots of people speak your first language, chances are it's not going to be that easy. If you're living in maybe a smaller city, it's going to be a lot more difficult to find opportunities with your first language. And also, I just really don't think it's that great to make the effort to move to another country and then just expect that you're going to be able to speak English the whole time, and that people need to accommodate you and speak English to you, because I think that's not the best thinking. And really, the faster you can learn the language means that the faster you can get out there in the community, talk to people, which means the faster you're going to actually find a community to help you with things and to better your mental health, and it just all fits together. So I hope this video was helpful for you guys, and yeah, like I said before, these are really things that would have helped me if I knew them sooner. And so I really hope that they can help some of you guys if you're planning on moving abroad, doing preparations for that, or if you're already in your abroad country. So it really comes down to preparation, support, mental health, a rough plan, and learning the language. Those are my 5 tips for you guys. If there is anything else that you guys know from moving abroad that's really helpful or that has benefited you, then be sure to leave them down in the comments. I am still learning. I am not completely immersed in German society yet, so I'm still working on it, and I'm positive that there are a lot of other people watching this video that are on the same journey. So I think it would be beneficial for everybody if you could also share some tips. If you like this video, be sure to give it a big thumbs up. Also subscribe to my channel for more content, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!